Well, today I'm having a very, very upsetting day. One that is smoke on this video. I try not to. But this is the cause of my addiction. There are no mistakes. And it's like if you could see yourself above and see what it is you're doing, what it is your experience, what is the purpose, what is the cause, then things aren't as upsetting. But I wanted to share what I'm experiencing. I am like shaking. I don't know if it can be. Anyways, why am I freaking out? So, um, I decided to look at the psychology of these dragon's den. There's a reason why I went on that dragon's den, and there's a reason why um, I didn't want funding from it. It's a lot of negative energy, negative advertising, but negative advertising is a good thing, and it's just something that I haven't unfolded into something positive yet, but it's coming. But part of that is I have to dive into it and look at the psychology and just sort of ask some questions. So I'm looking at this Arlene, um, I forget her name, but she was, the single mother, Bit Venture Communications. And I mean, there's a lot to look at her psychology because she was a single mother, and she knows exactly what I went through. Um, she was looking when she seen somebody come on to her show. She was looking at a single mother that had the same hellish experience that she says she has. So whether she was living in poverty or it's just a story she uses to try and say, hey, look at, I went from poverty to wealth and I can do it, anybody can do it, um, if she truly knew the hardships single mothers face, she would have seen the logic of what it was I was presenting. Um, she would know that it's important for all women that are dealing with abuse to have a sense of confidence and certainty, but she doesn't seem to believe that that's a healthy thing for women that are dealing with poverty issues. That if you're going to pick yourself up, you've got to feel confident and certain about yourself. She does not think that you should transform your problems into solutions. She thinks that that is not a healthy way um, it's not a worthy investment to her to introduce women to just every day feel confident and certain about something. She doesn't feel that it's important to feel love and happiness, to have something that interrupts the stress in your day to say, hey, no, I choose to feel love and happiness because then I'll attract it. Um, Everything that brought her success is something that's used within this bottled intentions. Um, it is something, a lesson a mother would want to teach their children. But she didn't find this to be a worthy investment. So I'm just trying to find, what does she find worthy? What kind of businesses are worthy to her? And just doing some research, I ended up running across this um, uh, Calgary Foundation um, for Calgary Forever. It's an organization that has something like 300 million in donations, and I think they were founded well before. Um, what was it? 1955. So you would think that if a nonprofit is actually doing good into your community, that your community should be doing good. But Calgary, when I lived there, had more homeless people on downtown. I mean, you cannot walk downtown Calgary without running across hundreds of homeless people. And I was one of them. And what makes me shake, what makes me want to have a cigarette, which I'll go and light this up again, is the memories, the shocking memories of it. It's like if you went into a priest and asked for some help and then the priest ends up raping you, the first thing is shock and fear and shaking, and you don't know how to respond, you don't know how to react. It's somebody that you went there for help, you're screaming help me, and instead of helping you, they cause more harm to you. Now every single nonprofit in Calgary did that to me. Every time I needed some help, um, it felt, well, I know for a fact they're sustaining all the problems. Some of their donors, I can't find the links, but I read it in there, are from police, the lawyers, the corporate structure, everything that's causing all of the social problems are their biggest funders. So they're in partnership with the devil. They get the money from the devil. Everything that caused me problems was the government systems, and everybody that's getting rich from these government systems and corporate structures and legal systems. Everybody that's wealthy in that Calgary area are the only ones giving. So do you think that they are going to recognize that they are the causes of all of the problems? No. So when I'm phoning them and it's like, hey, you got an organization there that says you're going to listen to seniors and their experience, and but yeah, you can't. I'm on hold, I'm phoning long distance, and I'm on hold, and then they come back to me and then transfer me to somebody else who can't talk to me, and it's like, wait a minute, you say you're funding, where is this organization? Nobody knows nothing about nothing. That's what a typical nonprofit is all about. They say, oh, here, go over there, they're doing that, and it's like, you're funding organizations that you know for a fact are not doing what you say they are supposed to be doing. That's what I found is most of these nonprofits have a list of organizations claiming to be helping. And you go into these organizations, and when you go in there looking for help, all they give you is a list of numbers, a list of organizations that are there designed to help you. And so you just went into one looking for help and they give you a list. So then you go down the list and everyone on the list has a list. There's no end to it. It's like, okay, which one of these companies is actually doing something and not handing out a list of phone numbers? Because there wasn't anybody that was doing anything. I mean, in the Calgary Police Department, when I was experiencing my torture, and went up to them and said, hey, if I did this and this, am I committing any crime? Had to get them to admit it was criminal acts. They said yes, and I said, okay, fine, I'd like to report a crime, and I'm peaceful and calm while I'm saying it. And they said, the Calgary Police Department says, um, uh, you can't just walk into the Calgary Police Department and report a crime. You got to make a phone call, which I'm only there because the phone calls didn't work. Um, then I go outside and have a little cry, and these two police officers came up to me and put me down and said, look at you, you'll pull yourself together. Nobody's going to believe a word you got to say. So it's like, when you go in wanting help in the police department, you got to look happy and healthy and normal, and otherwise, if you look a little off, nobody will believe a word you say. Appearances mean everything to the police and the justice system. If you are not calm, cool, and collected, you lose all the time. A judge sees a woman that's dealing with torture, and if she's not calm, cool, and collected, she loses. She looks like she is the criminal for some odd reason, like being beaten, the crap beaten out of you, you know, showing up in court with bruises all over you. And in the court's eyes in Calgary, you look like you're a criminal. You look like you're a fighter, um, basically. And we're not talking physical abuse. This was emotional abuse. So emotional abuse does medically have, this is the normal response, you know, like if you beat somebody up emotionally, eventually they'll cry. It's like I've asked any doctor, it's like, am I really seriously, you know, depressed, or if you somebody did this to you, would you cry? And they all said, yeah. I would behave and react in the same way if that happened to me. That, you know, so even if a judge had what was done to me done to them, they would look exactly like me. But because they're biased and never walked a mile in my shoes, they can't visually see what's going on. And then you go to the prosecutors in Calgary, because it's like, okay, you can't get the police to enforce crime. You can't get judges to enforce crime. Maybe you can get prosecutors. Well, prosecutors look at crime as victimless. The only time there's a victim in a crime is when some rich guy loses a little bit of his money. You know, somebody steals anything from him. But if the rich guy is stealing from the poor guy, there is no crime. That means that the poor guy, that they're not victims. The victims are, there are no victims. The only time a rich guy sees a victim of a crime is when they are the victim of a crime, you know, but when they are the criminal of the crime, they never see themselves as the criminal. So it was really, really shaky. It's like, that's what drives me to smoke, is when I see nonprofits like this organization. They no doubt are people that want to do something good, but they're not seeing what they're doing. It's like food banks. It's like, I worked really, really hard day and night to earn money for my food, but then some rich guy steals all of my food, you know, that I used to feed my kids with. And I don't want free food. I don't want your, you know, the guy that's stealing from me is the guy that's putting money into a food bank and sort of laughing at you, saying, see, I can steal your food and then donate it back to you. Aren't I a hero? And it's like, it's an insult. You know, if I work hard for my money and hard for that food, I don't want it stolen just so you can give it back to me. And then think that you are a hero, that you are doing something good into your community by forming these nonprofit organizations and looking like, you know, no, nonprofits are sustaining all problems. The only people that are working in them, the only people that are donating to them, are the cause of all social problems. And they can't recognize themselves. And it killed me. I'm shaking when I got off the phone, because this is the same statement. I'm sorry that that is your perception. And it's like, that is not my perception. The world is falling apart. There is, you know, nothing in the Calgary area is getting better, yet you're an organization that's designed to make things better. It's not working. So the perception is the reality. If you think your perception is you're doing good, and you look out into the world and see something good, something's wrong with your perception. It ain't my perception. I'm living the reality. I'm not stupid. I'm not lazy. And yet I'm on a welfare system. What was the cause? Cure the cause of poverty, and you cure it. But as long as work hard, did that. Be smart, am smart. Critical thinking, got that. You know, like, when you get critical thinking to the point where I do, and you see the flaws that you admit are within every system, It's insanity to believe any type of critical thinking can make something designed to fail actually work. It's insanity. Change your perception. It's you, not me. Peace